going on, guys? It's your boy Matt St. Jack. Whether you're an avid anime fan, a wee tadpole still finding your way, or anywhere in between, I'll be providing my opinions and insights on anime old and new. Think Yelp with help from friends and producers from other shows weighing in. I know you can't wait to hear, and I can't wait to tell, so let's get to it. This is Matt St. Jack with Anime Talk. Let's go.
Tonight, on a Halloween special edition of Director's Cut, we will be reviewing Nail Gun Massacre. So stay tuned. The show starts right now.
Happy Halloween, everyone, and welcome to Collateral Cinema Director's Cut. I'm Bo Maddox.
I'm Robert Ortegon.
And we are podcasting straight from somewhere in South Texas. And yes, my friends, we are a 420-friendly podcast. So whatever you have, be it dabs, blunts, bongs, or joints, smoke it if you've got it. And that's right, it's the spooky season finally, right, Robert?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's our favorite time.
It's early Halloween Christmas for us.
Yeah. Basically, the entire month is just one big celebration of everything that is macabre and everything that is all dark and twisted and horrific and whatnot, right?
Yeah, it gives me a reason to watch the Halloween franchise again.
Exactly. There's always a good reason to watch the Halloween franchise, but you know.
I mean, I'm always watching the Halloween franchise too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But I don't know.
But tonight we are celebrating the Halloween season by checking out something that I would say is probably closer to an exploitation movie than we've normally done on the Director's Cut Halloween special.
Another cult classic.
Another cult classic coming out of Texas by a director named Terry Lofton, and we are talking Nail Gun Massacre. Now this is a kind of a sleeper hit, right? You know, I mean, I actually came across this at CD Exchange for like $3.99, which was actually quite surprising. I mean, it's released by Synapse Films and everything. So
yeah, that's a hell of a deal. How you found that?
It's a great deal, honestly.
$3. I mean, I was looking it up. It goes anywhere from $20, $30 to $80. You know,
at the very least, right?
I'm like, what the hell? How'd you get this for $2 almost?
I know. I mean, it was actually a hell of a deal, and I ended up getting that with Hell of the Living Dead and a 2-pack of Stephen King movies. And honestly, I remember when I showed it to you, you were just like, "Oh wow, I remember this off of Tubi."
Yeah, I was freaking out. I was like, "How the hell did you get this?" I'm sure this has got to be a lot of money, though.
Oh, easily. But I mean, I barely paid not even $4 for it, so
yeah.
So hell yeah. But I mean, this movie is one of those types of exploitation movies where, I mean, you're either going to get it or you're not. You know, it doesn't have a whole lot of middle ground, like something like, say, Slumber Party Massacre, or you know, even something like a little more extreme, like Cannibal Ferox or something like that. You know, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, this is something that, I mean, I like I said, it's more exploitation than horror, although it does have a slasher element to it and everything.
Yeah, it's got like a shape effect to it too. They keep them in the corner, right? Like, mostly too. For
the most part, and I mean, the face is fully obscured, but
yeah.
I mean, yeah, let's talk about the killer first of all. Well, let's just go ahead and get right into that. The killer is in like a dark black and gray camo, kind of.
Yeah, like they just robbed he just robbed an army surplus store or something.
Yeah, he's got the black camo on. He's got a pneumatic Well, I mean, not so much a he, that's a she, but we'll get into it here in a second. He has a pneumatic nail gun with an air compressor and everything, and he talks in this really deeply synthesized voice. You know, like, I mean, and he makes this weird moaning sound that you hear like constantly throughout the whole movie. Like even the title sequence, it doesn't have a soundtrack to it more than it's just like just imagine that just a little more heavily synthesized.
It's the guy who came in second to Pee Wee Herman.
Oh yeah, you were showing me on Flight of the Navigator. It kind of sounded kind of similar to that, right?
Yeah, I was like, dude, that's straight up Flight of the Navigator voice. I love that movie.
Oh man, who doesn't love that movie? I mean, Fred Savage in a Disney movie, and Pee Wee Herman as the voice of the alien. That's great. But yeah, in this movie, the killer has all kinds of one-liners, and that's because Terry Lofton initially wanted to make this more of a straight horror movie, but I guess it just kind of dragged a little too much, so he decided to kind of add more comedic lines to the movie, and namely with the killer and everything. And I mean, I guess that's one of the things that makes this killer like actually pretty memorable compared to other slasher movie killers at the time. You know?
I mean, pretty creative too. I mean, right? Nail gun.
Yeah, with a nail gun. I mean, I can kind of see why they went with a nail gun though, mainly because I mean, it's a cheap as a prop for one.
Yeah.
I mean,
plus everything's already been done, right?
Yeah. And also, I mean, the gore effects that they would have to use to make a believable nail gun wound is not really that extensive, you know?
No, the blood work looks amazing with those nails on them, though.
It's actually not half bad blood work, and honestly, I think it's because of the simplicity of the weapon, you know? It's just a nail gun and everything. It rigged a nail gun, obviously.
Yeah, they rigged the triggers, so it just... Normally, you would have to push that against wood and then fire it in. But
Yeah. There's like a bolt that you have to push in on the nozzle, and then you hit the trigger. Yeah.
There's a way of rigging that to where it's like all the way back. Oh God.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's illegal as fuck.
Yeah, that's some dangerous shit to fuck with.
Yeah, no. Yeah, kids, don't go modding your air nail guns to shoot automatically. It's not really a good idea.
Yeah, don't do that. I've done that actually once. I mean, I shot it into the woods when we were building a house, just to see it. You know, held the trigger. Ta 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 ta. Very easy to do.
Oh wow! I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, it's fun as fuck. I'm sure that if you just set up like a piece of plywood or something and just riddle it with nails, I mean, that would be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
I could see the value there. I mean, hell, there's even a scene in this movie where these two dickhead construction workers who by the way, well, we'll get into why this person is killing all of them here in a little bit, but. Yeah, these two dickheads, they're straight up like trying to shoot each other with these fucking nail guns. It's like, motherfuckers, it's like y'all are literally shooting projectile weapons at each other.
That's pretty stupid.
It's dumb as fuck, honestly. But yeah, the killer is quite interesting and quite memorable. But the catalyst for this killer's rampage is actually the very first scene that we see in this movie, and it just kind of goes into it like at 100 miles an hour, you know, like it just goes straight into it. And of course, it's just a straight up gang rape that's happening by these construction workers of this one girl that's delivering materials to them.
Oh man, that's horrible. Horrible, dude.
Oh, it's absolutely horrible, and it's, I mean, compared to other exploitation movies where, you know, there are rape scenes and sexual assault scenes, I should say. I mean, it's not the most graphic one that I've seen.
Yeah, I've seen some shit. You sold me some shit.
I mean, yeah, man, it's like, this is no, like, Irreversible or I Spit on Your Grave, that matter. And, you know, I Spit on Your Grave, I mean, that's very much an exploitation movie, but I always kind of thought that there was it was actually really gritty and really raw how they showed those the scenes of the actual sexual assault. It's like that's not meant to be a fun or pleasant experience in any way. It's shown for what it is.
Yeah, this one's more Hitchcockian.
It's Hitchcockian, but it's also kind of not as graphic. Just the actual act of these big burly dudes holding this poor woman down.
Yeah, that's pretty much where
that's
it goes
more
to.
traumatizing. That's the most traumatizing thing about it.
Holding her down, and then it leaves it up to the imagination.
Yeah,
after that.
And I mean, it was something that was very, very common in a lot of exploitation movies at that time. But I mean, I'm not going to say that any of them were done tastefully. Like I Spit on Your Grave was probably the closest that got to it, and that's still a pretty raunchy representation of a very, very serious and sensitive topic, But it was common for sexual assault to be used as a catalyst for these types of rampages in these types of movies,
Yeah, like I was watching some necromance shit too, like on Tubi. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. There's some stuff on Tubi that is kind of down that is like, I mean, the whole rape revenge genre is a whole thing, and I guess you could say this is a rape revenge movie.
Yeah, back then your schools even talked about like rape and necromancy, too.
Necromancy. That sounds like some satanic panic.
I was like, what the fuck? What are we into here?
Yeah, the problem with that is that it actually minimized actual sexual assaults that happened.
Yeah.
Trying to make it like some satanic cult thing, and that was, and that led to actual like to people being harmed. It led to innocent people being
more home invasions, more brutal.
No, not
killings.
even that. Not even that. It led to false accusations that innocent people went to prison for.
Oh yeah, just because of the way they looked. Yeah.
Yeah, the way they looked, or because
that.
they happened to run a daycare that people started rumors about. I mean,
if you had a mullet, you were going to jail, I guess, right?
Or wearing black. All black like the West Memphis 3, but
yeah, they had mullets and black.
But those are all completely different.
Looking like they were grunge, right?
I mean, in this movie, yeah, I mean the sexual assault is the catalyst for this rampage. Although there is a little bit of a twist near the end, which we'll get to here in a little bit. But as far as the movie itself, I mean, the pacing is very watchable, but there's some moments where you can tell that there were just some locals used instead of like actual actors. Like we just saw the scene in the general store where these three characters, I mean, I don't think they even come back again after a certain point in the movie. These three characters are staying in that house, and I mean, yeah, they're picking up groceries and everything at the general store, and yeah, this old lady is sitting there just making this inane conversation, and she looks at the camera a couple of times. If you watch her closely, she straight looks at the fucking camera. So, and there's this one scene where a body is found, and the supposed property owner comes over, and he's this old redneck who you can barely understand what he says and everything. And at one point, whenever they leave, it's just like, hey, what are y'all going to do about this stiff here? Y'all ain't going to just leave this right here, are you?
Boom Howard.
It's like, oh, yeah, straight Boom Howard. It's like, I mean, if you live in Texas like us, I mean, you've known at least one Boom Howard type person, you know known at least a few, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, right, Robert?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, hell yeah, we've all had to speak with a Boom Howard if we've been in Texas. But yeah, I mean, this movie is also Texas as fuck, honestly. It takes place in Texas. It's Texas in the 80s, which is just a specific flavor,
Yeah, it's like, man, we live here too. Why can't we do something like this? I don't know. We probably should. I mean, we'll eventually work our way to a feature.
Yeah. I mean, it almost kind of feels like this movie could have been happening at the same time that the events of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was happening.
I was thinking that. It feels like very Texas Chainsaw Massacre-y, like really. Very,
yeah. That makes me think if this is like in the same proximity as each other, it's like, who would win, the nail gun killer or Leatherface? Who would win in a fight?
Oh man, I don't know.
I mean, you would figure that the nail gun killer would have a little bit of a ranged weapon. So, I mean...
The nails.
Yeah. But, I mean, then again, you have Leatherface's brute strength versus the reach of his chainsaw.
Probably deflect nails with his chainsaw. Yeah.
He could.
Like a sword, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past Leatherface to be able to not only deflect them, but also take quite a few of them and not, succumb to any wounds.
Yeah, I bet he'd pull them out all later and then stitch them up. Like, nah, he'd take as much as he needs to and then, kill this dude.
Yeah, I mean, totally.
Eine friedliche Stadt, irgendwo in Amerika.
Ich sagte, tu das Ding weg! Tut das weh! Du hast mich angepisst.
Die Stadt erstarrt, Würgegriff der Angst. Massacre. Die Lösung der Mordfälle scheint so nah zu sein. Doch dann folgt wieder ein Nailgun-Massaker.
Großer Gott.
Grausam verstümmelte Leichen säumen den Weg des Killers. Nailgun-Massaker.
Du verstehst auch gar nichts.
Hemmungsloser Wahnsinn. Ein Film des Erfolgsproduzenten Terry Lofton.
Es geht doch nichts über gesundes Arbeiten an der frischen Luft.
Ein Meisterwerk, das in den USA bereits eine feste Fangemeinde hat. Nailgun Massacre. Jetzt auch bei uns.
Hey, mal sehen, ob du in meinem nächsten Film mitmachen darfst.
I mean, they're very similar. They're kind of similar movies in a way. I mean, this to me almost kind of has a weird quality to it, not unlike, what's another good movie? It's not unlike the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre a little bit.
Even
right?
like Town the Dreaded Sundown was Texas.
Yeah, a little bit Town of Dreaded Sundown, a little bit. Right? Yeah,
all
exactly.
the same thing, just looking for a killer on the loose, right?
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a mystery involved, which kind of makes it giallo-ish, maybe. I mean, I know I like to point that out with a lot of slasher movies, but
Yeah. I mean, giallos were. I mean, a lot of this stuff was inherited from giallos. Yeah.
a lot of it was, and this kind of seems like a real Texas-flavored variation of that. Except we have more of a quippy American slasher killer here, as opposed to the the gloved point of view killer that most giallos had,
Yeah, the first person glove knife.
and that Friday the 13th and Sleepaway Camp had.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is more of Ryan Gosling, Place Beyond the Pines.
Yeah, I know you keep on bringing up Place Beyond the Pines, and then
Because right at the end where he
Comparison.
falls and dies,
oh, that looks that looks almost exactly like Ryan Gosling in that movie. It does.
it's the same way he fell. He was wearing the same coveralls.
Yeah,
and everything.
Ryan Gosling, literally you and Ash.
Yeah, in some universes,
In some universes, it's like, yeah, Ryan Gosling is literally Robert.
Robert or Ash.
Don't worry, guys. You are both Knuff. You're 100% Knuff.
Pretty sure everybody's got a little Gosling in them.
Everybody's got some Gosling in them.
Little baby Gosling in you.
Little baby Gosling, man.
Little gooses.
Kind of like how Dakota was going to be the Gosling.
Yeah, I was gonna make him a star, but then
But then, yeah, tragedy
he
occurred.
declined it. I was gonna
Yep.
I was gonna make Young Hercules again, but no.
Young Hercules, this motherfucker. Oh, what? We're going to let him become Kevin Sorbo or something? I don't think anyone should become Kevin Sorbo. I don't think Kevin Sorbo wants to be Kevin Sorbo.
No, I think he's tired of his. I think he's done with his own career.
He's done with his own career. It's all just fucking Christian movies, anyways.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
like, I lived off of Hercules enough and my face, so I'm good.
So, Robert, as far as one-off slasher movies go, where do you think Nail Gun Massacre kind of ranks among, like, you know those one-off movies, kind of like Chopping Mall or The Initiation,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like, how do you think that this movie kind of stands in comparison?
I wouldn't throw it away. I think it fits right in there too, because I don't think a lot of people have seen this. I think this is just something that was like right at the end of the 80s that just went over everybody's head, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for the most part.
For not being mainstream budget too.
Yeah, this seems like a very under the radar kind of movie for the most part. Although, I mean, it was on Tubi not too long ago. I don't think it's on there anymore, but yeah, I mean, thank goodness for Tubi for bringing movies like this kind of back out into the fold and whatnot. You know, 'cause and honestly, thank goodness for Synapse Films for releasing stuff like this on DVD back in the day, because I mean, these are movies that otherwise would just completely just rot in some fucking basement of some old owner of like a video store or something. I mean, I'm glad that we're able to see this movie.
Yeah. I'm glad that I found this movie and I got to see it too, because I was telling you, dude, we should have seen this a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, this is totally up our alley when it comes to horror and exploitation cinema. I mean, dare I say it, this is almost low-budget late night.
Oh,
sort of thing.
definitely. This is I would have this in my video store playing all. Keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Rerun
Yeah.
that shit, right?
Yeah. Throw it on the main TV while everybody's shopping.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean that's old school shit right there. That's some shit that the kiddos don't know anything about.
Oh, hell no.
Hell no. But also, I mean, this movie has quite a bit of the booba in it, right?
The booba.
The boobas.
Gazongas.
The gazongas. Yeah, so the sex scenes in this movie, I mean, some of them are a little gratuitous, I feel. And also, like, not well directed, I feel, Like, after the first killing, we see a sex scene between this one construction worker. I think he was one of the people that was there at the rape scene or not. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, it just kind of goes into this random sex scene, and the girl is just topless the whole time. So I mean, it definitely gains its exploitation bona fides there a little bit. I mean,
crucifying everybody with this nail gun, dude.
Yeah, pretty much Yeah. It's almost like a crucifixion spree in a way, right?
Yeah.
Like even just leaving people to just kind of bleed out.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one poor dude that's nailed to the asphalt.
Yeah, it was just trying to hitch a ride, really.
Just trying to hitch a ride and then just gets murked. That's the way it goes in these types of movies, right?
Yeah, happens every day though too. Don't take rides, strangers.
But also there's a scene. There's a scene where two characters are making some love and they get murked by the killer, and it's like. They actually showed some penis in that scene briefly. They showed some dick. It's like, well, I'll be damned. It's like, I mean, what do you think about that, Robert?
I mean, it's artsy, right?
It's artsy, man. Yeah. See, but isn't it weird that it's like trashy if it's just boobs, but if it's dick, it's artsy.
It's all artsy,
It's all artsy,
It's all
right?
for an art, yeah.
It's all for art, bro.
You gotta die for your art, right?
You gotta die for your art, bro. But yeah, and there's also that scene, and there's also that scene later on in that little Ferrari wannabe car. With there's that whole scene where this dude's taking a girl out on a date. They go and he meets up with one of his other old flames who humiliates him at a Dairy Queen, and then they go off and they start to have some sex, but then they're murked by the nail gun killer.
The Zodiac killer with the nail gun.
The Zodiac killer.
With the nail gun.
Yeah, right. I mean, and that's another scene where we see some nudity, and it's like, yeah, I mean, this is all par for the course when it comes to these types of movies. But As far as the kills themselves are concerned, there's some very, very notable ones. There, like one dude, he's taking a piss. The killer comes up right behind him, and then he turns around and he literally pisses on their leg, and then the killer's like, "Well, now you just pissed me off." and then straight up nails him in the dick, like straight up, just straight in the dick, man. Like what the fuck? And then there's of course, there was the aforementioned nude lovers who were killed. The two, the boyfriend and girlfriend in the woods and everything. And then, of course, there's that first killing that happens at the beginning of the movie, which is obviously one of the dudes from the sexual assault at the construction site. And he's nailed pretty quickly. And I think that it's implied that the killer kills the wife and the little kid as well. We're just not shown that or anything. But also, near the end of the movie, we finally get the twist of who the killer actually was.
It's Ryan Gosling.
It's Ryan Gosling.
Sorry.
It's actually kind of heavily implied that it was the woman who was victimized by the construction workers at the construction site, but inexplicably, as it turns out, it's her brother. It's not her, and that's weird because you can really look at the killer and everything, and you can definitely tell that was a woman that they have dressed up in that behind that mask and everything, and that motorcycle helmet and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I mean, but and there's even some dialogue in one of the kill scenes when she's taking care of a couple of the aforementioned construction workers that were having a nail gun war. She kills them, and even implies that she is the one who actually was the victim and everything. And it's like, well, all right, that right there should pretty much prove it, right? But even in this scene that's playing right now, where these first two construction workers are going to the lumber yard and everything, there's this one scene where the brother, he just says like he says like, "I'll be seeing you later."
I'll be seeing you guys later.
I'll be seeing you guys later. So there's also that little foreshadowing. So honestly, it feels like it could have gone either way. It could have been the brother or the sister, but I feel like they really kind of pushed that it was the sister, and I feel like they just kind of changed that at the last minute, right?
Yeah, I think they wanted the audience to believe that it was the sister, right?
Yeah, they really did. They really wanted the audience to believe it. Even I wouldn't even be surprised if the actress that plays the woman who was raped is actually the one in the costume.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if she was the one that played the actual killer. Which, interestingly enough, makes her one of the few masked female killers.
That's true.
In a slasher movie.
We don't have too many of those, do we?
Yeah. And I'm saying masked, because we had Angela in Sleepaway Camp, but she wasn't a masked killer. She was just a killer, a point of view killer.
Maybe not a masked killer, but a mass killer, right?
Yeah, not a masked killer, but a mass killer. There you go. There we go. But if you watch this movie, another thing that you'll notice is that the sound design isn't really that great. I mean, it sounds like the music is always mixed a little louder than the dialogue. The dialogue always feels like it's really, really back in the mix. Expect to turn your TV up a little bit or whatever sound system you're watching this on. Like, even if you're watching the Blu-ray version or anything like that, it's very amateurish. I mean, this is amateur hour when it comes down to it, right?
Yeah.
When it comes down to the acting and a lot of the directing, it is amateur hour. You're not going to get you're not going to get like Evil Dead levels of acting here, which was like superlative acting for a debut horror feature.
Even that was amateur in his day too.
And even that was amateur.
Yeah.
Even that was amateur hour, but that was like done much better than this.
Yeah, first starting out, it was amateur.
Yeah. But it also has a lot of passion to it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could tell that, you know, Terry Lofton, he wanted to try to make a straight horror film, but also just decided to throw a little bit of comedy in there when that wasn't necessarily working out for him. But I guess maybe we can go ahead and start kind of wrapping things up here. Robert, what are your final thoughts on Nail Gun Massacre?
You know, it's still a movie that I'd put on over and over. Actually, I don't think I'm even done watching it. You know, I'm not sick of it.
Oh no!
I wonder if Tubi still has it, but
I checked. Doesn't seem like they have it, but there is a fully uncut version on YouTube if you know where to look for it. It has a Spanish name, but it's not in like subtitled or it's not dubbed in Spanish. But I mean, I feel what you're saying.
Anyway, I wouldn't throw it away, man. I'm just a little irritated I'm a little mad that we hadn't seen it before, you know? Like,
I know, you know, exactly. This is exactly the type of movie that is right down our alley.
Yeah,
you know?
I probably only watched this like maybe 2 years ago, you know?
Yeah. It was 2 years ago, really?
Probably 2 or 3 years ago. I was like, dude.
The thing is, I do kind of remember maybe watching it with you.
Yeah.
Because I remember this movie before I actually bought it on DVD.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you got to see this. It's a fucking nail gun.
Hell yeah. But as far as my final thoughts on this movie, I think it's infinitely watchable for a first-time horror slasher movie out of Texas, you know. I mean, you're not going to get really, you know, solid acting here. I mean, you're not going to get like the greatest, you know, slasher story. I mean, it's even, dare I say, kind of formulaic in some ways, you know? I mean, it does seem like this cycle of, you know, we introduce the victims kind of, you know, make asses of themselves, and then the killer shows up and then, you know, kind of torments them a little bit and then shoots them with the nail gun and moves on.
Yeah.
You know, it's very formulaic, and yeah, the audio isn't particularly great, but somehow it still manages to be watchable.
Yeah, so you watch it for the first time, I think you'll like it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it'll absolutely hold your attention, especially if you're the type like us who, you know, we like to get together, grab some beers, smoke a little bud, and watch just some crazy or dumb or old school horror movies, you know? And this is perfect for that. This is what I would totally call a beer drinking movie. This is tailor-made for slugging down a six-pack, you know, chowing down on some munchies and hanging out with your friends. It's absolutely that kind of movie. And I bet it wouldn't be half bad in a movie theater even, with a good crowd.
Man, put it on a freaking big, like, drive-in screen. It'd be cool.
I know, yeah. This would be a perfect drive-in movie, actually. Mm-hmm. This would be absolutely perfect for drive-in.
Bunch of kids just want to see somebody get killed.
Just want to see a bunch of boobs and blood and everything.
See a good horror movie, just throw it on for them. They'll like it.
Exactly. I mean, this checks all the boxes there. You know, you get your boobs, you get your sexy time, you get your blood, you get your quippy comedic killer and everything. And
your ass to sell movie, Greg.
Yeah, show ass to sell movie, of course. You know, that's what this dude is doing. Yeah, we're at the scene with the two lovers in the forest, and they're just ass naked. So yeah, you got to show ass to sell movie, Greg.
Basically, freaking Zodiac killing shit here.
Yeah. This feels very much like the Zodiac Killer or like Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Sundown, yeah.
It really feels a lot like that kind of movie,
Same
you
thing.
know,
Yeah.
which is about a killer just wreaking havoc in a small town in Texarkana. You know, which is kind of Texas, kind of Arkansas, kind of a little bit of both, you know.
Oh, yeah. Texarkana?
But yeah, and also, I mean, if you live in Texas, like, I think you'll really love this movie because this just has, you know, straight up rural Texas written all over it.
Oh yeah, Dairy Queens and everything.
Yeah, even the Dairy Queen is there. Like, definitely. But anyway, Robert, what's going on with Texas Sundown?
Ash is finishing up some of the editing right now with the credits and some of the intros.
Excellent.
And I should be going out there to Houston with them, and we'll start working on some music too.
Yeah, dude, I would at least like for y'all to, like, are y'all gonna actually try to choose a soundtrack and everything?
It'll probably be a few hours before we even find what looks good. You know what I mean? It's a whole process.
Because you know that I want to actually do the mixing on that.
Yeah, so we were gonna hit it to you to do the mixing, but
yeah,
we're probably gonna stay up for like maybe 4 days.
I'd like to and maybe do a little bit of sound editing as well. I mean, I have a few ideas.
Right now, it's just finding what fits right now and what we can actually use. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
And how it all plays together, right?
Exactly. And how we place everything and edit everything down. And
yeah. I'm just trying to find something that'll sell this thing really, and we've been working on it. I don't want it to flop really. Yeah,
definitely. So yeah, look for Texas Sundown coming out very soon. It's written and produced by it's written and starring Robert Ortegon. Cinematography by yours truly.
Me too.
And some directing, and also some cinematography and directing by Robert. It's kind of a collaboration more than anything.
Yeah,
right?
all the still shots are pretty much me.
Yeah. And then a lot of the actual shots with actors and everything, that's more or less me working on it.
You, Jesse,
Exactly.
me, we all switch back and forth with a camera.
It was a real collaborative effort, man, and I think that it's something that we'll really be proud of.
I think that's how you have to do it,
Yeah, exactly.
You got to work with what you got.
Exactly, and with who you have as well.
Exactly.
As for Collateral Cinema, our first season should be underway at the moment of release of this episode. We're actually recording this like several weeks early in advance. But we should have our Halloween episode out, which is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. That was a fun episode. We did that with Ash and everything. That was fun. And our first episode, our season premiere of season 7, is going to be Freddy versus Jason. And we're going to be joined by Stu at SWO Productions. And we're going to also be doing Trick or Treat, the 2007 anthology movie, which is a Halloween as fuck movie, if you ask me. It's and honestly, being an anthology is actually a perfect way to convey a bunch of different scary stories in a small, period of time in a movie and everything. So definitely look for that. And on Collateral Gaming, I know for a fact that I'm going to be on a couple of episodes this month regarding Dino Crisis and Resident Evil 3. I don't remember if those are necessarily Halloween episodes or not, but yeah, look for that. And you can... And also believe that they have their first, their season premiere out by now, I believe. So go and find them wherever you get your podcasts. As for Collateral Cinema, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find us on Good Pods. Go there and like us, follow us, and rate and review our episodes so we can climb the charts there. We also have a Patreon, a Podbean patron, and a Buy Me a Coffee page. So if you have $5 and you want to help us grow our podcasting community and everything with Collateral Cinema and Collateral Gaming, and even if you want to maybe help out a little bit with some of the filmmaking, we should probably have something set up for that very soon. But yeah, hit us up there, become a patron, and throw us $5 and help us grow. And you can also find us wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, pretty much everywhere, like TuneIn. You can find us on Alexa. Like if you have an Alexa, just say, Alexa, play Collateral Cinema, and it should play for you.
Nice.
So, yeah, and also check us out on YouTube. We have pretty much all of our content there, and we should, in the future here very soon, be doing our first ever low-budget late-night episode. Right, Robert? Hopefully soon. So, yeah, look for all of that. Look us up wherever you get your podcasts. And also, yeah, definitely, we're almost to 6,000 followers on Twitter or X or whatever that stupid fucking app is called. So, yeah, if you don't mind still dealing with Elon Musk and his bullshit, yeah, follow us there. And also Instagram and Facebook. And we have a shit posting group on Facebook as well, Collateral Media Podcasts. Look us up there.
Yeah, you'll like that group.
Oh, definitely. But happy Halloween, everybody. We hope that everybody has a safe holiday. If you're out trick-or-treating, be sure that you do so safely. And anything else to add, Robert?
No, that should be it.
That should be it? Yeah. All right. Well, I'm Bo Maddox.
I'm Robert Ortegon.
And this was Collateral Cinema Director's Cut in solidarity with the Writers Guild and SAG-AFTRA. It's like we hope SAG-AFTRA gets the contract that they've been fighting for. WGA just got their contract. Let's see if SAG-AFTRA can. All right. Happy Halloween, y'all. Laters.